Well, we are back again, Vegas Live with Ninon. We're in Las Vegas having a fabulous time. A little windy today, but that's kind of what Vegas is like. It either gets very, 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 very quiet or very, 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 very windy. I have Kevin Lepine with me, and I was just asking him the correct name to pronounce his the
Yes.
last name, Lepine, and then he kind of went into this thing about he has a lot of Lepines in his house.
Well,
What do
the
you mean?
pineapple
Oh,
stuff.
the pineapple stuff.
As
Oh, see, there's always something to something.
as soon as my wife took the name Lepine, she quickly figured out it'd be Lepineapple,
Lepine.
and now we have pineapple everything at the house.
So do you also have a lot of Hawaiian stuff in there too? Because
No, but we spent some time out there.
Yeah.
That was where we did our honeymoon. That was where we just did
because they've
our
got the
fifth anniversary.
Dole
Yes.
pineapple is they've got a
Yep.
big factory in the main
It is.
island.
It's the coolest little tourist trap ever.
They're all
Yep.
tourist traps. Everything in Hawaii is a tourist trap,
But
actually.
the Dole
But
plantation
it's
is
beautiful.
great. Yeah.
But it's lovely, and you can eat as much pineapple as you want. So you sort of come up with all these
Yep.
spots all over your face because
Love
you've
it out
eaten
there.
too much. But it's fabulous.
Oh, it's very fabulous.
So now, last time I interviewed you,
Yeah.
you had actually changed the place from the Strip down to downtown.
Yep.
Are you still downtown?
Yes, we're at the Four Queens.
The Four Queens.
It-
It's one of the oldest hotels,
It is.
isn't it?
It's one of the classic properties.
Yeah.
It's got a beautiful showroom in the
Yeah.
Canyon Club. We're there every Tuesday to Saturday at 9 p.m.
How did you get that gig? I mean, come on.
So actually, the irony is, Hypnosis Unleashed, the Vegas Hypnosis show, 9 o'clock every Tuesday through Saturday at the Four Queens.
Yeah.
And the Four Queens isn't the biggest hotel,
No,
but it's one of my
but it's a great
favorites.
site hotel. It's a
And-
unique. It's like
Yep.
it's like a boutique casino.
And what makes it one of my favorites
What?
is the very first time I ever came to Las Vegas. This is 21 years ago. That's where I stayed.
Oh, really?
And I remember coming to Vegas for that first time, staying at the Four Queens, seeing their showroom and going, if
love
I
this.
could just perform here,
You'd
it would
in
be
your
every dream
element.
I've ever had.
You'd be in your element. You
And
love
all
it.
these years
And all
later,
these
I
years
now
later.
live my
Because I know
exact
you
dream
were
I
up
had.
on the Strip.
Yes.
You were up there for some time.
Yep.
Now, 21 years ago, downtown, which we call it downtown Las Vegas, wasn't as good as it is now, though.
It was, and it was just kind of starting. They just
just trying to
kind
put
of
the energy
started to
into
build
it.
it.
Yes.
And
And
they
then-
have done a lot. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the new light show down there, but they've totally changed the Viva Vision.
No,
they've
because I know they've got
upgraded
they
everything.
have the streaming thing right down the
Yep,
middle. of
the zip
walkway.
lines
the
there,
Zip line.
yes.
Is it still there?
Oh yeah.
Then it still's going,
Yep.
and they changed a lot of the lighting of that.
They've improved the lighting. They've improved everything. It's
Yeah.
a fun party to be a part
and they
of.
have an outside band there, if I remember
They have
rightly.
multiple bands out
bands
there.
out there.
Yep. Two of my favorites. You have Rocksteady and Alter Ego playing
Yeah,
out there quite a bit.
Absolutely. And that means when you're walking through, it's like Fremont Street.
Yep.
Fremont Street is actually closed from one point to the other point and then opens up. But between these 2 points, you've got everybody can walk around and you can just
Yep.
stop and look at the band, stay with the band, I'll go to the next one, I'll go
You
to
got the multiple casinos.
Queens.
You got different things to see and do.
Yeah.
I mean, the Four Queens. I mean, besides just myself, Mike Hammer performs there at 7 o'clock.
Oh, really?
And so, I mean, it's also really exciting for me
yes.
because I've got another great comedy show that I can sit backstage with, that we can talk material, that we can help each other.
Yeah.
And I mean, he has
Keep
been,
it together, because we've had 2
Yes.
years of not keeping it together.
and,
but
and he has been a great
Good
friend.
friend,
And I
good
am
friend.
so lucky to be able to
be
share
part
that
of
room,
it.
that stage. Yeah.
Now, you hypnotize people.
Yes.
You do hypnosis. Is there anything you actually change in that? Can you change your what you do every night? And
Oh,
the music?
yeah.
Because I've often heard you hypnotize. Because I remember I went to a hypnotist in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And I think I was, I don't know if it was for something. I don't know what it was for, but I don't know what something, whatever. And
This is why I tell people they'll remember everything they did at the end of my show.
yeah, remember it. Yeah, I remember what they did, but they did cure me of what I wanted.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
very, very nice. She was a real doctor on this.
Oh,
she
perfect.
Wasn't, she
Oh,
wasn't
gotcha. Oh, okay,
she
so
wasn't a-
she does it for the hypnotherapy.
For hypnotherapy.
So that's how you stop the kleptomania. Congratulations.
She's a comedian as well. It's a comedian, which is fun. So now you're down there. How often do you actually change your show? Is it every?
So there are things in my show that I love doing.
Okay.
There are things in my show that I do really regularly because they kind of generically
click?
work. Yeah,
Yeah.
they click. Not
People
only
are waiting for that.
well, not only are they funny moments, but they're funny moments that I know kind of work generically. Plus, they're designed to teach me a little bit about people. Like,
Because everybody's
yep.
different.
And so the beginning of the show kind of stays the same.
Yes.
Once we get to the middle and the end, though, I'm looking for specific people. I'm looking for specific situations. And sometimes somebody's personality will jump out in a way where I'm like, oh,
wow,
we're going to change some stuff, and we're going to keep exploring this moment.
It. So you can
Yes.
change it for the moment with that particular person.
Oh, yes, because up there on stage, I'll have 4 or 5 really good people
Yeah.
but their personalities are going to be different. Some are going to be really big and outgoing. Some are going to be a little bit quieter.
Some are going to be very serious
Yep.
and nervous and all the, what are you going to do to
But
them?
each one of those can have something really great with
Well, they
it.
bring a light in. It's
Yes.
just like having different lights. We have pink, blue, green, all these different
Yep.
lights, and they're like different lights that all come in, and they've got their own personalities.
Exactly. And when I can accent that and so if you volunteered, if I see your personality up there on stage, if I can accent your personality, I can make sure you're having fun, I can make sure you're having a good time, and I can make you look like an absolute superstar.
Okay, well,
and that's my goal with everybody.
We're going to do. Can you do a thing with me?
Yes.
Hypnotic thing?
Yep. In fact,
I want to do something.
so we were talking about this a little bit earlier.
Yes.
And I don't have the ones that we officially use on stage.
No.
But I do have a representation of something that anybody at home
Could
you
make.
can you can make these however you want. This is a really simple version of a pendulum. And I know we've all seen the old, Hollywood thing, you're getting sleepy, which I've never understood because this is not relaxing or sleepy.
No, I don't think
this
so.
is
That's
dizzying.
That's keeping you wide awake.
Yeah.
What's going on?
But this actually came from something that kind of explains a little bit about what your mind does in hypnosis.
But I do like this
Yep.
because
So here,
what? I like it because it's got Vegas on
yeah,
there.
it's
Is that the Queen's on
no.
there?
This is one of the original Binion's horseshoe.
That's a horseshoe.
Yep, from so my aunt, my grandmother actually lived in Vegas
Really?
in the early 70s
Oh.
and was a waitress at Binion's.
Oh,
And
so isn't that
yep.
Binion's? Now Binion's that was downtown
yes,
as well.
Yep, and this is one of the old casino chips from when she was there. So I just kind of keep these as good luck.
You could probably sell it and I'd get a good piece of money.
Yeah,
for
but
it.
I like the story better.
I like the story.
So just hold it in your thumb and finger.
Okay, do I have to hold it? Oh, hold
Yep.
it full length.
Yep, just like that, and just
fine.
look at it. And then on the count of 3, you're not going to consciously move it, but just think the words left and right.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Just stare at your pendulum and imagine it was swinging left and right, further and faster.
Oh, look at this.
And then on the count of 3, it'll change direction. It'll go back and forth from your nose to the wall. Just think back and forth.
Back and forth.
Towards and away, and it'll change again.
Oh my goodness.
Or an even easier one, just think of a circle. Think around. And now here's all that's happening. It's not that she has some amazing magic powers that she's moving it with her mind. Okay, yes, you do. But what happens in this case is your subconscious knows you're focusing on something. And when your subconscious focuses on something, you don't feel your fingers move. But because your mind is thinking about it, it's creating that reaction. And you don't even feel your fingers moving the little bit it's moving
it's going in a
to
circle.
make it happen.
You said make it go in a
Yep.
circle.
And that's exactly how hypnosis works. Is it's your subconscious creating an action that you don't even realize is happening.
Left and right.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Left and right means what?
Well, it depends what you want to. Now, a lot of people, they can use this to make decisions.
Okay.
In fact, we actually sell a brain game at the show where there's a little board with left and right and back and forth.
Holy shoot, it's in a hurry.
And you can use it to make decisions. If, like one direction can mean yes, one direction can mean no.
Look at this. I'm not doing anything. I'm literally not doing anything.
As you think of it, even just holding it, because you think it's supposed to be doing something.
Yes,
your subconscious will make it do something.
But I was thinking positive, so I was kind of thinking of a yes,
Yep.
and it was going yes and yes.
Yeah.
So it's yes and yes this way, or whatever you want.
Whatever you want
Now
it to
the
be.
circle means that I'm undecided, or what I'm going to do is undecided.
Yeah, people use this to help them make decisions, to find out what they're really thinking. Do I want to do this? Do I not want to do this? How do I feel about this situation? And it's a fun way to tap into your subconscious to get those decisions.
Question then.
Yeah.
My mother was a little bit into all this stuff.
Okay.
So she sent me this little tiny string, and at the end of it has like a stone on it.
Yep.
That
Any sort of a string with a weight on the bottom of it.
Bottom.
Yep. I mean, honestly, as simple as about a foot of. Let's see, that's 9 inches, so that's what, 7 feet.
I don't know.
Just just some fishing line and a fishing weight. Anything like that.
Whatever's going to be heavier on the bottom. It could be a bootlace or anything like that. It could be. But anyway, she sent us. So I have these, and I don't know if it's a good place to have them. But I have a lamp that's got a little design on it and hook, and they're like next to me in bed. So sometimes when I'm thinking about something, I take it off, and then I think, let's see what's going on.
Yeah.
So is it good? Is it not good?
It can be really good for that. Yeah. The other thing that it can be good for too is, especially talk about doing something like that before bed. There's a very relaxing thing to taking those breaths and just letting your subconscious take over, because your subconscious is where your dreaming and your REM comes from anyway. And if you're starting to bring that to the forefront, it's a really good way to fall asleep.
Yeah. I don't have touch wood. There's the wood. I don't have a problem sleeping sometimes, very occasional. But I always say to everybody, if I'm trying to help them in a way, I always say to them, when you go into your bedroom, just turn everything off and relax, because that's the most tranquil place you're going to be. You're going to spend 8 hours, 7 hours, 6 hours, whatever the case may be. You're going to be totally relaxed. And before you go to sleep, relax and think of good things. So that's why that is next to my bed, because I think of my mum, and I think of all, different things about her.
And it's really funny, though, since you brought this up, we'll quickly divert for a second. So one of the worst things you can do with insomnia is to stay in bed when you aren't feeling tired.
Listen to this,
because what happens is you start associate being in bed with not being able to fall asleep. And so sometimes, like if you're suffering from insomnia, one of the best things that you can do is actually leave the bedroom for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour.
And come back.
Yeah.
And then
as opposed to starting to look at the bedroom as punishment.
Tossing and turning and always saying, I can't sleep, I can't sleep, I can't sleep. What can I do to get myself to sleep? I'll take sleeping pills, I'll do this, I'll do that. And sleeping pills are kind of the worst, I think.
Anything that you become reliant on in that respect is usually not a good thing unless there's a medical reason for it.
And I understand.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people take, sleeping pills and this pill and that pill to go to sleep, and I say, well, no, I personally wouldn't do that. I think it's much better to sort of, get yourself into a place where you're happy or thinking of something good, and you just fall off to sleep. It's like the television. You leave the television on. The only problem is an hour later you wake up, it's woken you up.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of sleeping with noise like that.
No, I don't like noise. No, I don't. Sometimes
I've never been able to fall asleep watching TV. That's never worked for me.
No, I like to be tranquil. But sometimes I take my computer with me to bed, but that's because I've got a couple of hours to work and I want to be in bed to do that. But I know that's not good either. It's not good. That's a bad habit, so I try to do as little as possible. So back to your show. So how's your show going? You've been down at the Four Queens for a long time.
So we reopened in July. After lockdown, we opened July 9th, and it has been unbelievable. The crowd's been great. The support that we get from the Four Queens is wonderful. They take great care of us down there, and it's fun. The showroom's a really fun environment.
Can the people sit as a group now? Everything's fine.
Yep. And when you come in, you are supposed to wear your mask.
Coming in wearing your mask, and then you can take it off?
There is of course a bar. So if you're drinking, you're allowed to have your mask down. When you volunteer, I recommend having your mask on stages, because you are going to be sitting next to some different people.
And it's not a matter of putting on mask on. It's a matter of you don't know where they are, where they've been, or what's happened. So it's just a matter of protection.
And just a little bit of courtesy right now for strangers that you're going to be next to, in the same way that you would want them to extend some courtesy for you.
Yeah. Now, how many people do you have on stage? What is it, 15?
It generally depends. We'll get anywhere from 8 to 15 people to volunteer, usually keeping anywhere from about 5 to 8 people
And with all these people, when you first start with them, you said, because you know people.
Yes.
So you look at all these people and you know who, like I do, I know roughly who my guests are, because I don't pre-interview. And you look at them all and you know sometimes where you can have not a problem with somebody, because no one's ever a problem, but they're not sort of, they've got their guard
on. We talk about this in the beginning. We talk about people who probably should and should not volunteer. But every once in a while, you do get somebody who, like, their friends have been on them all day long going, you need to volunteer, you need to volunteer. So they go up there, and they don't want to be up there.
No.
And you can just kind of see them stressing through the whole thing.
So you slowly dismiss.
And then we just politely excuse them. Because here's the thing, even the people who don't go under,
Yeah.
So the people that we send back because they're not hypnotized, I have a lot of respect for them because the number one fear in the world is public speaking. And these people, whether they went under or not, were still willing to get up in front of a group of people and take that chance.
That chance, yes.
And I love them for taking that chance.
Yeah, so you give them as much as you can give them, and you keep them up there as long as you can.
Yep.
But I know that you have to slowly dismiss. So how many do you like to end up with?
So generally, let's say we start with a dozen people.
Yes.
We'll usually keep 6 after about the first 4 minutes. So it takes me about 4 minutes to put people under.
Yeah.
And then by the time we're done putting them under, usually we have a really good idea. We're going to keep these 6 and we send the others back.
I told him not to put me under because we got 4 minutes and we have 4 minutes of silence.
We
don't want 4
well, that's the one problem with hypnosis on camera. Here's what hypnosis looks like. And that doesn't really make for good television.
Not really, no.
Yep.
Doing. Hi there.
Because really all hypnosis is just like the pendulums. It's that relaxed state where your subconscious is focused and it creates a moment.
Now, what about this as an everyday life? Some hint you can give people out there to become more positive and more willing to be friendly with other people, because we seem to be in an era at the moment of not liking anybody around you or people around you. What can we do to get people to be a little bit more friendly with each other?
So, 2 things.
Ooh.
The first is the acknowledgement that everybody is living in their own situation.
Yes.
And everybody is carrying their own loads. And we don't have the opportunity to understand where everybody is coming from.
Is that because we don't give them that opportunity for us to understand?
Because we're also carrying our own loads.
We're carrying our own loads, that's why. So we've all got loads.
Yep, so we all have loads. And the first is just acknowledging that.
Yeah.
You know, yes, you're having a bad day.
Okay.
But taking that bad day out on somebody else isn't going to improve your day, and it's not going to improve their day.
Might make it worse.
But the other side of it, one of the hardest things to do, is the one thing that I recommend to everybody. There is a voice you use when you talk to yourself. So
you can talk to yourself.
We all do.
I do.
There are ways that we talk to ourselves. Okay. There are ways that we react to a situation.
Yes.
And this is really important. Do you allow yourself to make mistakes? Or do you call yourself stupid for making a mistake? Do you forgive yourself for doing something? Or do you constantly berate yourself for something you've done?
Interesting.
The more that we can change our inner voice to a voice that's positive and accepts the fact that yes, we have flaws as well, but we don't need to be berated by them, the more you can build up your own inner voice, the happier you are with yourself, and the more you spread that happiness to others. Which is actually something we do in the show is, I want to leave everybody with a positive feeling for being up there.
Absolutely. That's amazing. And I've kind of said this, like yourself. If you like yourself and you're happy with you, then you can help other people, or you can at least be friendly with them. Or even if you just, open a door for somebody and say hello or something,
Mm-hmm.
that also, doesn't that make you feel good? Acknowledging somebody else?
I've always believed that if every person, every day, did something kind for 2 or 3 other people, then the world would be a much better place.
Okay. That didn't come from my lips. That came from your lips, Kevin. And, and it is so true. If we could think, and that's thinking positive instead of thinking negative.
Yes.
I've always been known as Miss Positive because I don't really go to that. I mean, obviously I have things that happen. But no, I don't really. I like to see what the situation is first, and could I have helped it, or can I rectify it, or whatever I can do with the problem. But we can usually rectify it.
And sometimes I actually change. I actually change it occasionally from being positive, because people have used. This is going to sound really strange, and I'm sorry for taking it this way. People have used positivity to be very negative.
Oh, yeah.
Because they've used positivity to push people away.
Yes, too much.
Sometimes I've always believed that instead of just thinking positive,
all the time,
can you think compassionately?
Yes, and there is a difference.
Yep,
total difference. Positive is passionately is really liking somebody. Positive is taking the negative out of it.
Can I approach somebody with compassion? Can I approach them with kindness?
Yeah.
And can I offer them that?
Yes.
And that can be
and
very
that can
strong.
be a very, very strong
Yes.
So we've learned an awful lot of what's going on and what's happening, and how you can improve your life. I definitely agree with you. Don't put yourself down.
Yeah.
If you make a mistake, we very rarely hear of something we do it right.
Yep.
We usually hear about how we do it wrong. But I've always thought that doing it wrong is a learning process.
Yes.
So you've learned not to do it that way, but you've learned, well, if I'd done it that way, I wouldn't be in this predicament. So
I think I think it was Thomas Edison who said, I've succeeded once because I failed 99 other times.
That's how we learn.
Yeah, exactly how we learn.
I mean, when we're in school, we spell a word wrong, and then we get it corrected.
Yep.
And so we've learned. If we know it all at the very beginning, we don't need teachers anymore. We don't really need anybody anymore. Now, where are you? You're performing at the Four Queens.
Yes.
Thursday. Tuesday.
Tuesday through Saturday. It's
Exactly.
Hypnosis Unleashed. It's the Las Vegas Hypnosis Show.
Okay. And where is that?
So it's at the Four Queens in the Canyon Club.
Okay, the Canyon Club. That's downtown Las Vegas.
Yep.
Be easy to get to wherever you may be.
Very easy to get to.
The center,
and we validate parking.
Oh, that's a good thing, because the hotel's actually on the strip now. They charge for parking.
Yeah,
You don't get that. You just lost a couple of $100 on gambling, and then you're going to pay $36 on parking. I don't understand that quite.
No, it's
like a real stab, and then you twist it.
Yeah, somewhere.
There's a missing link there.
Yep. Yeah. Somewhere Bugsy Siegel is spinning in his grave.
Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think for a lot more other things too.
Yes.
He's quite a character. You're on Facebook?
Yes. Well, you can go to hypnosisunleashed.com. You can reach us through all the social media there. Also, it's Hypnotist Kevin on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Hypnotist Kevin or Kevin Lepine. I'm the one who looks like me.
He looks like he looks.
Just add us, and come on out to the show. I know that I love talking about the serious side of hypnosis because there's a lot of really great things it can do. But up there on stage, we're having fun with people. We're bringing out the best of people. My goal on stage is when you volunteer, I want you to have the time of your life. Because if you're having fun, everybody watching has fun with you.
Okay, well, I promise that I'm going to come down and with my producer, and the two of us will come down and we'll see what's going on. She said she doesn't want to go up on stage, and I said, I do.
She does want to go on stage.
She does want to go on. She will.
Oh, she's not even making eye contact with us now.
No, she's like, all of a sudden she got busy. She got very, very busy. She said, Thank you for watching Vegas Live with Ninon. I know we're going streaming, so we obviously know that none of this is... we're not editing anything or doing anything, so whatever comes out of our mouths is what comes out. It's the truth, it's honest, and it's wonderful.
So we're sorry.
We're going to learn something.
Exactly.
Learn from our mistake. Not to do what we do. Anyway, don't forget to go to YouTube and to subscribe, and don't forget to join. We've got memberships and joining and all that wonderful stuff, and we're going to be right back with our next guest. Take care. Thank you so much.